Hey, so this is the Pasta Socks podcast featuring Tyler Cartwright and
Well, it's not
Trevor
featuring
Turpin.
it.
No, that's not even your last name.
Wait,
Is that your last name?
What would you say my last name was? Hold up. What did you say my last name was?
Turpin.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's wrong though, right?
No, that's correct.
Is it?
Yeah, that's my last name.
Oh,
Yeah.
the more you remember.
Oh, off to a banging start.
Restart. All right.
Nope, that's staying in. That's staying in.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever used your last name before for anything.
Yeah, that's weird.
Anyways,
You just opened with my
we're
full
here.
name.
We're here and we're thriving.
Hell yeah.
How was your week, man? How was your week?
Week, as I said before the podcast started, I have been rapidly sleep depriving myself. Going to bed at 6 a.m.
Yeah, not a good
waking
call.
up at like noon. I mean, 6 hours isn't bad, gonna be honest, but could be better.
But like your whole day just like starts so much
Yeah, I know, it's
later. I
weird.
feel like that throws off your rhythm.
Kinda. Now I'm like
No.
on a different rhythm. I was once doing classical music.
true.
Now I'm on
That's
the
true.
jazz rhythm.
New beat.
Yeah, you know, we're following that the jazzy syncopations, you know.
Yeah. So you wanna just get into it? You wanna introduce your topic, or you want me to go
Hold
first,
up.
or how do you wanna
You got
wanna
a
approach this
robot-y
week?
there for a second.
Thanks. You go first, man. Just introduce. What are you talking about this week?
I feel like
'Cause last week I called out that it was elephants because that was my guess, and I just I was off by a little bit, but I was pretty close.
you were in the same realm. You were in the same realm. Elephants are an animal. My topic happens to also be an animal. But one very specific singular animal, to be exact. I have to ask you two questions.
Your own
I
chihuahua.
I have to ask you two questions. How much
Okay.
do you know about bears?
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I should know more, but not too much.
Okay. Second question. How much do you know about World War II?
Again, I feel like I know enough, but I probably should know more, considering it's like a huge topic in United States history in
Alright.
school. You know.
Well, some of the audience may know where this is going, but my topic is on Wojtek the bear. have you heard the glorious fable that is Wojtek the bear? Wojtek the bear?
No, I haven't.
Oh well, you're gonna fucking explode with this one, gamer. Wojtek was a fucking plane just flew by. Wojtek was a Syrian brown bear. You know, bears that live in Syria and they're brown Syrian bears. Brown bears.
Quick question. Is his name Wojtek? But is
It's spelled
there like
W-O-J-T-E-K.
a Syrian twist on the name?
It's
So
pronounced.
gotcha.
I feel like I should also explain that he's also Polish. He's dual citizenship.
The bear.
This bear is dual citizenship, yeah. With Syria and Poland. So,
Okay.
the story of this bear is he was purchased by Polish soldiers who were evacuating the Soviet Union. And they purchased this bear, you know, as you do, at a railway station, like a train station.
Yeah.
They just bought a bear cub, because why not? So, I'm reading the Wikipedia as I'm going through this. It's really funny. I think this is a Polish military. Yeah, he hit the rank of corporal. He was a war veteran. Wojtek the bear.
This is like a real bear.
This is a real ass bear. He was a war veteran. He was part of the artillery supply company. when he was part of the 22nd Artillery Supply Company during the Battle of Monte Cassino in Italy in 1944. He moved crates of ammunition because why not?
Jesus.
Man's a bear. He's a bear that would move ammunition.
Did he have like a uniform, or was he like saddled? Like
I picture him wearing
he? You know.
I picture him wearing a big bandolier and like a military cap, you know, like a beret. I don't know what they wore in 1944 Poland, but I picture him looking kind of like Rambo, but a bear. He is a super soldier.
I picture my Wojtek. I picture my Wojtek's just wearing a tuxedo T-shirt. You know, it says, "I'm formal, but you know, I also like to party."
Formal, but I. Isn't that from like Wedding Crashers or something?
That's from Talladega Nights.
Oh, that's my bad.
No worries.
I'm sorry. He had a fucking emblem made after him.
Dude, can you describe?
Can I describe him? He's a bear.
I don't want you to like pull up a picture or anything. Yeah, just describe the emblem, not the bear, dude.
the emblem is like a square flag, right? It's like a square flag with tassels hanging down. It's a very black and white picture. I don't know what colors they are. I'm gonna assume the colors of Poland. What colors are Poland?
Wait, what? I was gonna ask you that. Hold on, let me.
I don't know the Polish flag colors.
Poland colors. We got. Oh, it's red, white and red. That's the Poland national handball team colors. I don't know if that's the same, but I'm assuming.
Well, anyway, the picture is a silhouette of a bear carrying over one shoulder an artillery shell. Because that's what he did.
It's kind of sick.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Just a single artillery shell.
Yeah, a giant fucking artillery, like a fucking tank shell, like a mortar. Things that would be used to shoot across countries.
Jesus.
As this bear, he lived only 21 years, but god damn it, he was a true Polish hero.
He served probably like a third of his life.
Well, he served since like birth.
War.
Yeah, years of service. He actually only served 2 years or 3 years, but like.
Still, that's.
He served from the years of 1943.
You know, that's the equivalent to us serving like 13 years.
Yeah.
It's equivalent to that about.
Honestly, Wojtek, true hero. 1943 to 1945 is when he served. He was born 1942 in Hamadan, Iran. I almost said Ireland. Iran and Ireland are very different. Let me tell you. He died December 2nd, 1963. He was 21 years old.
What a hero.
He was a decorated war soldier.
Damn. Not
many people can say that, let alone bears. How many bears do you know who can confidently say, yes, I'm a decorated war soldier? Probably none.
You know, I struggle to talk to bears, so it's going to be 0 for me. But
they're pretty nice.
Probably a couple.
I never met a bear who I didn't like.
Right.
Yeah. Let's talk about Wojtek's early life a little bit.
Give me some more information.
Yeah, he was born in what was it? He's a Syrian brown bear, purchased in the Soviet Union. He had issues growing up. He had some birth defects. He couldn't swallow very well. He couldn't swallow very well, so he was bottle fed condensed milk from a vodka bottle.
Ooh.
Bear was
no way that's true. There's no way.
No, it's true. It's true. He was given fruit, marmalade.
This is Wikipedia, man. There's no way.
It's true. It's honest to God truth. This bear was fed from a vodka bottle. His backstory. The boy who sold Wojtek to the Polish soldiers had found the young bear cub because his mother had been shot by hunters. This is a fucking like Bambi, but instead of Bambi being picked up by woodland creatures, Bambi was a bear and picked up by hardened war soldiers. Bambi would be a much different movie.
I feel like they should make a Wojtek movie, but like make it.
Bambi rolls up on the hunter that killed Bambi's mother with a fucking shotgun and just blasts him. I'm on to something for this this gritty reboot of Disney's Bambi.
It's well, I mean, honestly, Marvel could take this and just like run with it, you know? I feel like
Wojtek, the third Avenger. It's around World War II.
Yeah, it was, you know.
He was an actual, like, Wojtek was a super soldier. Captain America wishes he could be Wojtek.
Actually took Wojtek's DNA and fused it with Captain America.
That's what happened. And then the Hulk tried to copy Captain America, which assumes the Hulk copied Wojtek. Wojtek is the first super soldier. I still can't believe the bear made the rank of corporal.
Dude, okay, so I'm not very familiar with how rankings work in the military or anything like that, or any military, whether that's ours or somebody else's. Right. Do you know how those like work? Where's corporal in the
All right.
in the ranking scale?
Corporal is. Wait, hold up. This brought me to the Polish army page. Okay. Let's see. Let's do a quick Google. Military ranks in order. Alright. The complete list of U.S. military. We're gonna go off U.S. military because it's like generalized across the world, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it's about the same thing.
We're gonna catch a lot of flack for that. So a private first class has no insignia, right?
A lot of flack from our like 6 viewers or listeners.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Oh my god, I'm being ad-botted. What, this website sucks. Anyway, corporal is like just a rank above a private and below sergeant, but still.
Okay, well, but like where are private and sergeant? So what do you start as? You just start as a regular person.
You start as a private. It goes private.
Okay, so it's just like one rank up.
Yeah, it goes private first class, corporal, sergeant.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Wojtek.
It wasn't like he couldn't order people around or like lead a battalion, but he was like up there.
No, he was like second in command of the sergeant. He was the sergeant's right-hand man, or right-paw man, if you will. So
if they were on a pirate ship, he's the first mate, you know?
Yeah. Can you imagine Captain Hook and First Mate Shmee, but instead it's Captain Hook and First Mate Wojtek? Peter Pan ain't fucking with no one.
Nah, Peter Pan would have been dead long ago.
Wojtek has a cannon on his arm. He's holds it at all times. He's like, "Arg, matey, I'm Wojtek," and he speaks perfect pirate English.
As a Russian bear.
Syrian bear.
Sorry.
He's Syrian. So
I've been mistaken.
In Wojtek's like spare time, he would play wrestle with the soldiers, gaining himself immense strength. That was heavily improvised. He did play wrestle with soldiers, and towards his later little bit in life, he picked up smoking. That's not even a joke. He started smoking and then also eating cigarettes. This bear.
Are eating cigarettes, could like eating cigarettes be addictive?
I mean,
I guess probably.
You still
There's
eat the
nicotine. Yeah.
This bear was an addict. He was probably suffering from PTSD. He probably had shell shock. This bear went through the ringer.
No wonder he died when he was 21, dude.
Yeah, dude, he went through hell. He went through World War II. That is literal hell.
Don't eat straight cigarettes and not die when you're 21.
He probably ate like a carton of them at a time too. He's a fucking
No,
bear.
I'm picturing them like trying to lead him to the battleground, and they're just like putting cigarettes on the ground, and he's just like eating them along the way.
So he did first start off as a mascot, right? He was a mascot, you know, like little like haha funny bear time.
Mm-hmm.
But as the war progressed and as it got, you know, as he was seen in battle more often, he saw all the Polish soldiers carrying crates of artillery and artillery shells, and he's like, you know what? I'ma help out. On his own, he decided to start carrying, like, artillery. And people say that animals aren't smart. Let me tell you, this bear, genius level IQ for a bear. Absolutely just big, like, complete six
Just
head.
top 5.
This bear has a 6 head. No one is as smart as Wojtek. He really didn't do much in the war though, but he was a war bear. He was an actual enlisted soldier with his own pay, his own rank, his own serial number. It's still insane to me that this bear did more for Poland than the average civilian.
I want to clarify. It wasn't like, you've probably said it, but he wasn't like owned by a civilian and they were getting money from this. They like bought this bear to fight for them.
They
like
purchased
the government did.
they purchased the bear as a mascot, really. It was a group of soldiers who purchased the bear. And they're like, yes, bear is our mascot. It will boost morale. And then bear's like, I will help in war. Man probably killed some.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He probably has like some sort of a body count, you know?
He definitely has a body count. The crates he would carry of ammunition were 100 pounds each, and he would just carry them like no problem. Cause he's
was it like
bear.
donkey type carry?
No, he picked them up with his arms and just held them with his thumbs.
That's what I thought. You know,
I don't think bears have thumbs.
They don't.
Yeah, no, he uses claws to grip the box. He just saw them carrying crates, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna help out. So, okay, here's the great part about his strength. Wojtek carried boxes that normally required 4 men. One singular bear said, fuck it, I'm as strong as 4 regular men. He is literally Captain America, but Polish. And a bear. Should also point that out. He is a bear. It's
I just like I'm picturing. I have a view in my head of what's going on in this bear's life,
Picture
and I feel like
Dunkirk.
it's something that I would love to be a part of.
Picture Dunkirk, but with a bear. I haven't seen Dunkirk. All I know is that it was loud.
I haven't either. I was just gonna assume that it was something that you've seen and were accurate with.
Picture 1917.
Okay.
With a bear.
With a bear.
I haven't seen that either.
I did see that one.
I haven't seen a movie in so long at a theater. It's been so long.
You just gotta watch more Netflix.
The last movie I saw in theaters was
gotta,
Knives Out.
You gotta
that was in November.
Bust it out.
I haven't been to a theater in a year. Holy shit.
Yeah, mine was probably Far From Home.
I still haven't seen that.
You should. I started going to movie theaters by myself towards the end of the year just because of no friends here. But obviously changed that around. But at a certain point, movies by yourself are kind of
okay.
fire.
The last time I saw a movie by myself was Detective Pikachu, and I
Great
had
movie.
I had just gotten over the worst strep throat of my life, and it almost killed me. I was hospitalized for like a day. I couldn't breathe. But
Jesus,
went and saw Detective Pikachu after that.
It's a mess.
This is the first year in probably 15 years I haven't gotten strep throat.
Dude.
Yeah, 2020 looking good.
How are you allowed outside?
How am I allowed outside? That's the thing, is I haven't been outside in 6 months.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
I didn't catch it from the elements. Anyway, back to Wojtek. We're
back to the bear.
moving the tangent. We're taking the tangent from up there and bringing it back down to topic. The bear was allowed to retire. he had retirement at in Scotland at a Scottish zoo. It was just any zoo. He had like his own enclosure with like anything he wanted because he's a decorated war hero. At the Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland, he had his own little like place. People would throw him cigarettes because he was addicted.
God.
This bear fucking vibed. I'm actually so surprised that this bear. Okay. His post-war life, following the demobilization. What does that even mean?
Is it demobilization?
I don't know. Maybe it is, and I'm just reading it wrong because I always learn how to say words from reading them. Okay, it's spelled in the different way. It's spelled in the Polish way, probably. It is demobilization, but it's spelled DEMOBILISTAION rather than Z.
Okay, so it is demobilization, but it means demobilization. Gotcha.
Yeah. He was given to the zoo for his retirement, where he lived his life visited by his like soldier friends. They gave him cigarettes. They gave him They would just give him cartons of cigarettes because they were what is the word? Company mates. They were a band of brothers. Picture band of brothers, but with a bear.
Dude,
that's how dope
this
was.
I feel like there's so many World War II movies that could have been just like upped a little bit. If they just brought up this bear, like every once in a while, they're just like, yo, the bear's in the battlefield or something like that. Like if they brought it up,
the bear's let loose.
It would have just like upped the ante a little bit. They were like, oh, we gotta watch out for this wild, savage bear. You know, I feel like they gotta capitalize on that.
You just hear like heavy metal guitar playing in the background. You see bodies fly through the air as a bear rushes through the battlefield. Now, I feel like I should tell you he wasn't as big as I'm making him out to be. He was only about 6 feet tall.
But, I'm sure he wasn't.
No, he was only about 6 feet tall. But like
standing on his hind legs, or like
standing, he was about 6 feet tall. And he only weighed about 500 pounds.
Yeah, but that makes the feats of strength.
Yeah, it makes him so much cooler. He was 500 pounds of pure muscle. The bear looked like a gorilla.
Kind of sick.
Man, the bear is now used as he has his own plaque at the Imperial War Museum. There are statues of him all over Poland and Scotland for that matter. The bear is I guess he's not living anymore. He's a legend. He is to the rest of the world as Davy Crockett is to America. But like probably not as racist. I can imagine Davy Crockett was probably racist.
Probably. I mean, it's a bear, so
bears don't care about race.
They care about bear race.
There's inner turmoil bear racism. Wojtek was seen as a deserter because he helped
polar bears versus brown bears versus panda bears versus black bears. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Polar bears may be bloodthirsty and out to kill, but Wojtek would fuck them up. They'd like charge at him, and he'd put up his mitts and he'd start punching.
No.
He would start punching.
He probably had some training in that regard, though.
They'd come in claws swinging, and he would just put up his mitts and bam, just glock him in the face. Bah, bah, bah. He would do like the little like boxers dance too, like side to side. And then the polar bears would shit their pants because holy shit, this bear boxes. And that is the story of Wojtek. The legendary super soldier bear of Poland.
Dig it. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. The only thing about this story...
and that's what we hope to gain from this. I had no idea who he even was.
Exactly.
So, or that he even existed. And so now I have this new knowledge.
Legendary bear super
that I can use.
The only thing that's missing from the story is and this is where Marvel would take liberties. The Nazi bear. The bear with a mechanical arm named Bucky Barnes, whatever.
The winter bear, or they would call him the polar bear.
The polar bear. And it's just a polar bear with a robot arm with a Nazi symbol on it, and him and Wojtek would duke it out with punches. Not even like bear attacks. They just fist out here, fist out there, punches.
Literally just fight. It's actually, the arm is even just like, it has a fist at the end. It's got opposable thumbs and everything.
Yep. That's the disadvantage. is Wojtek doesn't have that, but what he does have is superior bear wits and a crippling cigarette addiction. That is the story of Wojtek.
All right.
From cub to corporal.
Here we go. I like that. I like that a lot.
They could use that as the movie slogan. They could use like Wojtek, cub to corporal. Coming to a theater near you in 2022.
They could have it out that fast.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Lay it on.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
All right. So I told you what mine is, but
yeah.
For the listeners out there, my topic that I chose for this week is Egyptian mythology, just kind of general. So, because mythology is like one of those things that I'm just like into. So, Age of Empires mythology. If you ever played it, you're a homie. If you haven't, you should play it. But yeah, Egyptian mythology. First thing to know, it's animal related, first of all. But the gods looked fucking sick. They had like basically the body of a human, and then their heads were just animal heads. So like there was the Bastet, the god of cats, was just a human body with a cat head, and it just like they all looked sick,
That they're furries.
So
you're telling me that?
Basically they're furries. Actually, Egypt was like the origin of the furry population. It actually had kind of an uprising recently. But yeah, so they were sick. Like they all had cool animal heads. But the weird thing was, so like they were all pretty sick, and then there was like the god of death, or like the bad guy Set in the Egyptian mythos. And he had like the head of a jackal, which is apparently like not that bad. Like usually they represent something that has to do with the god, but this guy just had like the head of a jackal, so I don't know. But anyways, what would you like to know first, Pasta? Where do you want me to start with it? Ask a question.
Asking questions. Shit, I'm bad at questions. How dare you put me on the spot like this? I know a little bit about Egypt mythology, not too much.
All right. Tell me what you know.
Well, I know that Set ripped apart Osiris limb from limb and head from body and kind of strew his pieces all over the world, and then his son Horus had to find him. That happened.
Yeah, kind of. So that was the world's first murder, supposedly, in Egyptian mythology.
Cain and Abel ain't got shit on Set. Cain's like, oh, rock on brother's head.
Yeah, so Set killed.
Set's like, fuck you. I'm gonna dismember you and throw you across Egypt.
I'm gonna dismember him and just put him everywhere. But yeah, so Osiris was killed by Set, and then this is actually, it's like related to Christianity, oddly enough, but he was killed by Set, and then Horus found it. They found like the pieces and brought them all to Isis, who was their sister, and she like brought him back to life.
Sisters, mothers, it's all the same thing in mythology.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. Actually, though, so this is another side note. The main god, his name's Amun-Ra, or Ra,
the winged dragon of Ra. I played Yu-Gi-Oh in middle school.
Yeah, you know.
I know my Egyptian god cards.
Yeah, so Amun-Ra was like the main god.
Obelisk
Exodia,
the
Egyptian god,
Tormentor,
whatever.
Slifer the Sky Dragon. I know my shit.
Dude, did you ever watch the movie? There was like Anubis was in that movie.
I did watch the movie. Yeah, all of
Honestly, it's
Yu-Gi-Oh
pretty
is based
sick, not gonna
around
lie.
fucking Egyptian cards found in Egypt by the pharaoh who was also Yugi. Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah,
was
and
nutty.
the Millennium items in Yu-Gi-Oh were like had some sort of Egyptian god power, or like
Pegasus's
spirit
eyeball?
in them, depending on.
It was Egyptian.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Back to okay. The Amun-Ra thing. This is just about incest, basically. So Amun-Ra.
Wait.
Shu-
Hold up. You can't just tell from talking about Yu-Gi-Oh to say this is basically just incest. I need some sort of content buffer there for a
listen.
second.
This is like we're just.
I had nothing.
So-
no warning. God damn.
So Amun-Ra had two kids, Shu and Tefnut, awesome names, who were born at the like beginning of
Tefnut.
creation. They were gods of like the Tefnut was a baller. He was a
Fuck
god
it.
of the lower atmosphere.
I'm naming my kid Tefnut.
And then Shu was a god of the upper atmosphere, and they, did dirty. And then they produced it's either Geb or Jeb and Nut. So
yeah, imagine
they were
being
gods of like
named
the earth and sky.
like Joseph and naming your kid Sif. That's what Tefnut did to his kid.
I respect it though. Like you can't be mad.
Nah, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed in Tefnut.
It's really not that creative, but
No.
it is a mythical god being, so it's not like they really care that much.
True.
But yeah, so Jeb and Nut were gods of the earth and sky, respectively, and they were separated. So they were like together, and then they were separated to create a space for human beings when they were created. So like basically, when Jeb and Nut were born, they were like torn apart, kind of thing, and then human beings, so that human beings could live.
I have to ask.
Which is kind of sick.
I have to ask. Is it
And then
spelled
Jeb
with
and
a
Nut
G
obviously
or a J?
got together. Say that again?
Is Jeb/Geb spelled with a G or a J?
G-E-B.
Okay, it's probably Geb. Because
I'm
I
going with Jeb.
keep picturing Jeb Bush. I keep picturing Jeb Bush.
Well, that's who you're gonna picture as
Yep,
just the
that's-
earth, the god of the earth.
God damn it. Okay, Jeb Bush is god of the earth.
But yeah, so Jeb Bush and Nut had kids. Obviously, it was basically one god and then two gods, but those two gods got dirty, and then those two gods had two kids. Those two gods got dirty, and then the four main ones that most people know about: Isis, Osiris, Set, and the lesser-known Nephthys. And so those four, Isis was like one of the gods were associated to like human life. Like the cult of Isis was formed and became one of the largest opponents to Christianity in the 4th to like 6th centuries. Which, again, falling out. In Age of Empires mythologies, she was the god of like wealth. So I'm assuming that it was kind of along those lines where she would she bestowed good fortune on humans. And so they worshipped her in that regard. Nephthys was like the opposite of Isis. So Nephthys represented like the darker side of humanity, and like which means like death and the afterlife, but like not in like a bad way. They were just like kind of in charge of it and just kind of represented that.
Makes sense.
Osiris, which is like he's like the main hero. He was considered like the judge of the dead and lord of the afterlife, which doesn't sound like a hero's role, but
No, it really does.
Egypt had some very weird customs or different customs. And he's like Osiris was like the main god that like the pharaohs in ancient Egypt were like assumed like have stemmed from. So like they were assumed to have like Osiris in them, kind of thing.
He was strewn across the land.
So yeah, he was the big guy. Yeah. So obviously Set, as the world's first murderer, he like wanted the throne, and he he was like the one that like brought balance. Obviously, every myth has like somebody that brings balance to the world. So
Luke
Osiris and Horus
Skywalker.
were like the noble and good ones, and then he was like, "Yo, I'm a bad bitch." So yeah.
He was supposed to join the Jedi, not destroy them. Egypt Episode 3, Revenge of the Set.
Say that again?
Egypt Episode 3, Revenge of the Set.
Let's see, other things. So yeah, the general order of the universe was called like the peacefulness of the universe, like the way everything kind of fit together, was known as Mot, which is just like they were trying to preserve Mot. Also, just another note that is not really kind of related to that, but one that I just remembered and had written down. But there were like over 2,000 different Egyptian gods based on where you lived.
That makes sense.
And like, the stuff, yeah, and just like this stuff that you prayed to. If you were a farmer, you prayed for like rain or sun or whatever you prayed for, versus like somebody who wanted money. But yeah, there was just like over 2,000. Depending on the area, you had a bunch of different ones. Super cool and interesting. Also, Anubis, who everybody knows about, he was originally the Lord of the Dead, and then Osiris took over that role, and Anubis kind of became a helper, kind of like assistant.
Anubis retired.
But what he would do, have you heard of the Feather of Truth? You heard of the Feather of Truth?
I have not heard of the Feather of Truth.
The Feather of Truth was a feather that was weighed against your heart when you died. So if the feather outweighed your heart, you were fine and you like passed on to the afterlife. If your heart outweighed the feather, your heart would be devoured and you would cease to exist. Your soul would cease to exist.
You know what? Honestly, not that bad. I thought it was gonna be like you had to spend your afterlife in all of damnation picking apart the pieces of Osiris over and over again because haha, funny time. But
no, it's not even eternal damnation. It's just eternal.
There's just nothingness.
Nothingness, which
honestly,
could be good, could be bad, depending on how you're feeling.
A lot of
I don't
time
know.
alone with
You
your
just like
thoughts.
cease to exist.
Just like before you were born. Some deep shit.
Another cool just factoid. Pyramids. When the pyramids were built, they were built on the west side of the Nile, so that the pharaohs could be connected with the setting sun. So because everybody gathered kind of around the Nile when it was just like in the olden days, and so when the sun would set, they assumed that like Ra or Amun-Ra was like death or dying, and then he would be reborn the next morning. And so like it was a cycle of death and rebirth, which is why they were like very okay with death.
That is much cooler.
But yeah, the pyramids were built on the west side. Say that again. They're much cooler than what?
That's much cooler than the normal perception of the sun.
Yes.
The sun fucking dies and is
Screw
reborn.
the sun just sitting there. It's a god.
Yeah, the sun is like. You know what? I can get behind a god system with fucking Egyptian gods. I can get behind it.
I really could too. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, if I had just like that view of the world where it was just like everything was happening because it was like meant to.
Everything didn't happen
because this one god did this one thing.
It was just things happened and it was attributed to the gods, and they were like, hell yeah. Good harvest, thank you, harvest god. Good rain season, thank you, rain season god. Like that's so much easier.
Exactly, but that was like all of
does God hate?
That was like all of mythology, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
gonna say this.
I'm gonna say this. Mythology and like religions that have multiple gods seem way chiller than like monotheism religions. Having multiple gods seems like a better thing. Because you don't have to pray to the.
It's just like it puts so much less stress on like the one god. You don't want the one thing. You can want different things all at once.
And like having one god decide whether or not you have a good life based upon this or that is kind of shitty. But having one god dedicated to just your harvest, I like that.
And you can like get mad at them, and like you can ask them for a better thing next time. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
If one god just like smites you and you only have one god, you're just like, well, my life is ruined.
Yeah, like Job. When God was like, hey Satan, wanna have a little game with Job? And Job was like too stubborn to get mad at God. I believe in God. And Satan's like, dude, he took everything from you and I didn't do anything. Why are you mad at me still? The Bible's weird, man.
Dude, the Bible, I haven't read it fully ever, but the stuff that I've read from like confirmation and everything, it just has a lot of interesting stories.
The part where the 12 kids make fun of a bald man, so 40 bears come out of the woods and kill them.
Or like the Tower of Babel, where languages became a thing.
Or the story of the Lesser Key of Solomon, featuring a demon that has a bird head. It's just really chill.
It was actually just an Egyptian.
Yeah, no, honestly.
God. Yeah.
He probably was.
Those were real.
Yep.
Okay, finishing my thought on pyramids being built on the west side of the Nile that I started a couple minutes ago. So when the sun would set, they would assume that the god was like collecting the souls that were buried in the pyramids, and they were like, he like collected them and just like traveled with the sun as he died, and then they like passed on, which is kind of sick. Like that's a really cool way to just like go about it.
That's so cool. Man, fuck science. I want sun gods.
We need more gods in our lives. I feel like
Honestly?
we could really, learn a lot.
I'm calling it right now. Bigfoot is a god.
Actually, all of the mythical creatures, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, mermaids, all of them are actually just gods, and they're waiting for us to accept them as the heroes that they are.
I've already accepted Bigfoot into my life. That's just the truth. Bigfoot is my
Did you ever see the mermaid documentary on
the
like
Animal
National
Planet
Geographic
one with like body found
or whatever?
Dude, I was just talking to someone about that like the other day. Like,
It was
no joke.
I get that it's like kind of fun to make, but there's no way you can convince people that is what a real mermaid looks like. That thing was like 18 feet tall.
I mean, have you seen a real mermaid?
Well, no, but that's not the point.
Well, then how do you know? All I'm saying is a mermaid could
I
be
respect your mermaid beliefs.
I don't believe in mermaids. Only Bigfoot and Mothman. And the Fresno Nightcrawlers, as well as Ogo Pogo.
The Chupacabra.
But that's for a different week. I can go deep. I can go deep into cryptozoology next week.
Honestly, yeah, you have that be one of your topics at some point.
It's gonna be.
Because honestly, I'd eat that shit up. Oh, you know what I should say before we go on and I forget it. If anybody who's listening has any ideas or topics that they want us to talk about, you can either DM us on Instagram under the Pasta Socks Instagram account, pasta_socks, or you can, if you know us, you can text us.
That is true.
But yeah.
If you follow any of us on Twitter, you can also DM me on Twitter.
I have like 30 followers on Twitter.
I also have
There's
like
no
30
way.
followers. Yeah, you're right.
I'll post it anyways and see who shows up.
Yeah, I have more followers on Twitch than I do on Twitter. It's very hard to promote myself.
Hey, that's progress, man.
It is progress.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even posted that first recording, and
I know, right?
You're already gaining Twitch following.
Yeah. Yeah. Continue.
Honestly, dude, that was like the main notes that I took. It was just like really cool, like factoids that I was just gonna throw at you, and like that one main story, obviously. So I think it's really interesting that like that Osiris story is basically just like, hey, he was reborn after a certain amount of time. it was basically just like where the Christian community kind of like, or one of the fact or kind of things that the Christian community pulled from, they think when discussing or like creating kind of the story of Jesus. Not that Jesus wasn't real to whoever believes in that, but it was one of the things that Christianity supposedly pulled from.
Kind of like how they pulled Christmas from the pagans.
Yep.
That's
Christianity is just a combination.
Dude, that is actually another great
everything.
topic, though, is pagan holidays are fucking dope.
Really?
They make...
Dude, I need to know more about pagan
It's kind of like...
holidays, but that's like, I feel like you could get into like a whole topic.
Yeah. No. 1 week we'll just discuss paganism. There's a lot to talk about.
I leave that to you, man. Here, I just pulled up all the myths that are like 8 Egyptian myths that I read.
Are they in VeggieTale format?
Are they in what?
Are they in VeggieTale format?
Quick, which might be good, honestly. So, Horus and Set. There's like, this is like a continuation kind of thing of.
Oh yes, Horus, the dude with the falcon head.
Osiris. Yeah, Horus was the falcon head, but this is like after the.
I've played Smite.
What was it? The Osiris being murdered story. This is after that, but Horus and Set, they both wanted to be. Horus like grew up and he wanted to be a king. He wanted to be king as well as Set. And Set had the throne at this time somehow.
Because he killed Osiris.
And Set kept.
He fucking murdered him.
And Set kept cheating. He kept cheating in whenever their like battles happened, which obviously, if you're battling somebody, you cheat. It doesn't matter. You want to survive. But anyways, I side with Set in that regard. But yeah, eventually Isis stepped in and she like set a trap for Set and captured him, and then he like begged for his life and she let him go, obviously, because Isis is just like the maiden goddess. And then they finally fought and they like tied. Wait, hold on, I just skipped this line, but it sounds so interesting. It says, in a final match that was a boat race, it looked like Horus was going to be the victor, but Set turned into a hippopotamus and attacked Horus's boat.
That's
so that sounds
dope.
kind of sick.
They were having like a hydroplane race, and all of a sudden, hippopotamus.
He was just like, fuck it, I'm going to lose. 30 miles per hour underwater hippopotamus attack.
The fucking
and
jaws
then
of the hippo opened up and crunched Horus's boat. And that's when hippos killed like 30 people a year.
Osiris. Ooh. In the end, Osiris was consulted to see who should be king, and he declared that no man should take the throne through murderous ways, and Horus became ruler.
And then everyone else
Osiris
in the world
ruled the
said,
underworld.
nah, fuck that, and killed kings constantly. Egypt seems dope, though.
Let's see, the Book of Thoth. I've heard a lot about this. I want to know more about the Book of Thoth. Hold on, let me read this one, but keep talking.
Egypt would be pretty cool to go back in time and live in like ancient Egypt. They had like hella advanced systems and shit. I also wouldn't mind meeting aliens for the first time.
Honestly, okay. Give me your thoughts.
My thoughts that
Aliens,
Egyptian gods are aliens.
Aliens built the pyramids. Where are we at with that? Where are you lying on that spectrum of belief to non-belief?
I don't want to sound crazy here, but like they were built so fast. Like holy shit, there is math put to it that it would take. Yeah, you have to put one stone down every 2.3 minutes. That's crazy to be done with just human, like primitive human innovation. That's insane.
They didn't have anything, so like there had to be some either that much more advanced than we thought, or just like some help from somewhere.
Like I don't want to sound like one flew over the cuckoo's nest here, but fuck, aliens have to exist.
There's no way they don't.
There's no way that ancient civilizations did the things they did to the point that they did them without some sort of outside technological force. I believe.
Well, I think there are some that I understand like I don't know. I don't know the speed at which like Chichen Itza was built, but I'm sure that one. I feel. Not I'm sure, but I feel like that one was
But the fact
probably
that
fine unless it was done in like. I just don't know how long it takes them to build things.
the fact that they
I
had
didn't know that.
in-depth star maps that knew about Sirius A and B. You can't see those with your naked eye. You can't tell a difference. They knew that the Sirius system was 2 stars. How? How? Maybe they had fucking telescopic eyes and maybe just devolved and not have those anymore.
And they were just like, we don't need these. We're thriving on our planet.
That's the only other explanation, is that we devolved from a higher life form. And we're continuously devolving instead of evolving.
Honestly, devolving, yeah. Honestly, we might be.
Pharaohs that could actually use their
Back
spines
to
properly.
Egyptian mythology for a quick sec. Okay,
Yes.
Egyptian mythology, Book of
Yes.
Thoth that I was talking about a second ago.
Thoth.
So what it was it was a book that contained all of the knowledge of the gods, like everything that the gods knew and everything that like happened between them supposedly.
Right.
And it was supposedly nestled in the bottom of the Nile. It was locked like a box and guarded by serpents. And so like pharaohs would try to gain access to
That's badass.
it while they were alive, but it never happened. But like that would be so cool. And so yeah, it says that like it's said in Egypt that the knowledge in there was never meant to be possessed by humans, obviously. So we'll go snag it at some
It's
point
just a
soon.
box that says press button to call back aliens. And it's like a fucking
Press button
Bluetooth
when help
signal.
needed.
You just boop, and then wah, 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 wah. A ship like busts out of the ground and like
The pyramids are just the back of a turtle with sharp things.
it just comes up out of the sand like some gargantuan beast, some Monster Hunter level shit.
Another. This is actually really interesting. So you know the story of Cinderella, obviously.
Yes.
The story of that is there's an Egyptian myth that there's a tale of like a Greek girl named Rhodopis, or Rhodopis, whatever,
What?
however you say that. And she was sold into slavery in Egypt, and a kind man bought her, and then he like provided her with a home and all that stuff. And an eagle swooped down and stole one of her slippers, which was red, so it happens. And that was delivered. It like brought the slipper to the pharaoh, Amasis, and Amasis was like, "Yo, this slipper's fire as fuck."
The slipper's
And he asked to
dope.
meet the owner of the slipper, and that is the Cinderella story on a little nicely typed package.
And then the
Or,
brothers Grimm
or
were like,
Disney
I know
used.
how I can change this. Removal of toes and heels. That's also another good topic for one of these weeks, is talking about the Brothers Grimm stories.
There's a lot that we could do. I was going to ask some of my students the other day, actually, just like, hey, what's some stuff that you guys wish people told you about, you know? Or just like some cool factoids that you think you don't know enough about. So yeah, we're always looking for input on
Like
here.
how babies are made.
So we've been talking for... we don't need to talk about that one, man.
How do they do
That's
it?
for high school... That's for high school PE teachers.
How does the bird get the baby? It's for high school PE teachers. Probably the least qualified people to talk about anything.
Yeah, but that's who does it.
I know, it's so weird. Why are PE teachers regulated to talking about like health class? It's weird. Every school I've been in, there's always been the
I
same
couldn't tell
teacher. It's always been a dude too.
Yeah, I've had a few.
I had
Male
like
PE
one
teachers.
female PE teacher, but she wasn't my health teacher. Yeah, dude,
I took yoga from the ASB coordinator. Yeah,
Hell
I took yoga,
yeah.
and it was like the ASB coordinating teacher. So like, kind of a PE teacher at that point, maybe.
Yeah, kind of a PE teacher.
Cool.
I would say yoga is physical education, feducation, if you will.
All right, it's been a solid hour. I think it's about that time. I don't know how much more we can talk about these two things without branching off into side tangents. But I hope our listeners had a good time with this one.
Wojtek was an Egyptian god.
Wojtek, he basically was an Egyptian god at this point.
That's our connected topic, is that Wojtek was a god.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we should try to find a way to connect our topics every week.
We should. No, that was the plan.
Yeah.
Or we should at least connect
Our topics.
them like title wise.
The god of Poland. All right.
Yeah, just Wojtek, Egyptian god of Poland. Anyways.
Thank you all for listening to the podcast.
Thank y'all for
new
listening.
episodes every week.
Have a good rest of your day or night or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what we're shooting for.
Alright, this is where we cut the podcast clip. This is where I hit stop recording.